Hello students, this is your teacher Manish, and having seen what project life cycle is, today we are going to see what is the framework of project management. Okay, so whatever stakeholders needs and expectations, those stakeholder needs and expectations are managed by 10 knowledge areas. Okay, and this rectangle which you see here is actually the framework. Within these 10 knowledge areas are divided into core areas and facilitating areas. So we will get into details of each and every knowledge area to understand better what the framework is. Okay, so before getting into details of this, let us first understand what is stakeholder or who are stakeholders. So let's take an example. For any project, let us identify key stakeholders. So one of the most important stakeholder obviously is the customer, right? The customer to whom you are going to deliver the project. Now within customer organization, you can have multiple stakeholders. So you can have actually the business leader or the business owner, or probably we can say a budget holder, and second could be the user who are going to use the software which is getting developed. Okay, so these are the two key stakeholders within customer organization. There could be multiple as well, but for us currently we are considering these two key stakeholders. Second stakeholder could be the project team itself. Engineers who are designers, developers, testers, architect, infrastructure management team. So the entire project team, the technical team who are going to develop the software is the second stakeholder. Third stakeholder could be the senior management within the organization which is developing the software. Okay, the senior management could be the senior bosses. The entire project team report into those bosses, and basically they monitor the project, or they track the project team, monitor the project team. Within this organization also there will be a budget holder, and who will ensure that the cost which is budgeted for the execution of project is not going to get overshooted. Okay, so we identified customer, one of the key stakeholders, second employee, third could be the vendors, suppliers, partners. So if there are multiple developers or development teams contributing into development of software which are working into different organizations, for example, there could be a development team who is actually contributing into development of, say, CRM. Okay, the other development team is actually contributing into building the networking and infrastructure. The third development team could be responsible for the key environments. So number of teams, and if all of them are working for different different organization, then this becomes actually a part collaborative effort, and it is nothing but all three partners coming together and trying to develop the software for the customer. So customer is one key stakeholder, second is project team, third are suppliers, vendors, product teams like Microsoft team. If Microsoft is involved, Oracle team, if Oracle is involved. Okay, so these typically are key stakeholders. And if you see this framework or the knowledge areas, these knowledge areas are expected to manage the needs of stakeholder. Okay, so let us now get into details of each and every box which is drawn here. Okay, so first core areas if you see are scope management, time management, cost management, and quality management. And we have seen in our previous video that these four are most important constraints within a project, and what happens if one of them change. For example, scope changes, obviously cost is going to change because you will need extra time, and if you try to compromise on time and increase the scope, your quality is going to get impacted. So all these four are interrelated to each other, but one needs to manage each one of them. Okay, so how do we manage the scope? Typically, scope is managed by having a very strong change control in place. So what happens? Scope is nothing but the agreed requirements. The agreed requirements, when they get baselined and when we get them signed off by all key stakeholders, any changes in those requirements, in the baseline requirements, need to follow the change control. And this is the most important thing. If you follow the change control, what happens obviously is the changes get re-estimated or estimated, and accordingly you can visit the timelines. Accordingly you can visit the costs, because your estimates get increased, and there is going to be a platform of negotiations opened up if required. So a strong change control management needs to be in place to manage the changes in scope. Time management, very key, because project is project has committed to a specific schedule, and the key milestones are very clearly laid down, and once you start executing the project, it becomes very important to ensure that you actually adhere or follow or meet those key milestones. Okay, so you can use number of tools. You can use Microsoft Project Schedule to track the timeline. You can have Gantt charts, and you can see the critical path. So we will get into greater details when we speak about planning and scheduling for a project, and we will understand that in more details. Okay, cost management. Obviously, you have put in resources and non-resources. When I say resources, it's all manpower. So manpower and non-manpower cost, okay, has been estimated, is identified, and one needs to ensure that whatever has been estimated, we deliver within those within those expected costs. And last of the core knowledge areas is quality management. So what is quality? Of course, we will have a separate video in getting into details of what quality is, what quality standards are, what is CMMI level 5 or CMMI standards, okay, and their different levels. But before, as far as this particular subject is concerned and this particular video is concerned, okay, let us understand quality at a crisp and high level. Okay, so when do we say anything that is getting delivered either as a service or as a product is having good quality? So typically when the customer who is going to consume that either product or service is satisfied, the customer feels that whatever he expected, okay, in terms of outcome is within the budgets that he has spent, basically it's value for money. Okay, so as a software developer and project manager, how do I ensure that the software which is going through the life cycle is going to get delivered as per the quality? Customer is going to be satisfied. So we will put different quality gates, and testing is one of the most important quality gate that we would have. and there will be different phases of testing, right? So you would have unit testing, which is typically done in the development environment. You might have system testing, integration testing, user acceptance testing, and each of these quality gates or each of these testing phases will have their own objectives and their own coverage of testing, okay, such that you start eliminating the problems that appear or that are found within the software in these phases, and by the time it gets deployed, by the time it's in production, okay, all those bugs, issues, problems are resolved and fixed such that your warranty period is doesn't have any priority 1s and 2s, and then you have a customer satisfied. Okay, is testing the only, or phases of testing are only quality gates? We need to have quality gates prior to that as well, because if you wait until testing to happen, you're going to spend a lot of time even fixing the bugs that come in tests, right? So ideally speaking, your quality activities starts right from the first phase of software engineering, which could be requirements capture, okay, while you're coding. So what are the quality activities which you do in this early phase, because software is not yet ready to start development? So there could be different activities like reviews. So whatever deliverables that get generated as a part of requirements capture, as a part of design, so use cases, user stories, high level design, architecture diagram, all these artifacts or all these deliverables undergo reviews with relevant experienced stakeholders, relevant experienced resources, and they give the feedback based on their experience to the development teams or to the individuals who are responsible in producing these deliverables. Okay, and what happens is such reviews play a very important quality gate. So basically what you're doing, you are verifying and validating the product that gets developed in each of these phases against the requirements that are captured, that are baseline, that are agreed with customer. So you verify and validate whether design is as per the requirements. You verify and validate whether low level design is as per the high level design and requirements. So all the artifacts which gets developed in each phase is actually verified and validated against the artifacts that were reviewed, approved, okay, and agreed in previous phases. And when you put all this, quality gets, quality checks, inspections in place, you are increasing your confidence. You are more or less assuring that the software which is going to get developed after these phases is going to be as per the expectations. Okay, so these are the 4 key knowledge areas, okay, which are called as a core areas, and if we manage them, we are going to ensure that one of our key stakeholders, who is a customer, is going to be satisfied. Okay, what are other knowledge areas? So let us get into details of this. Okay, so one, that is 5th, which is one of the facilitating areas, is human resource management. So for a software development, you need manpower, and you need skilled manpower. So you need right people, right skills, experience, okay, to be in place so that they start the development at right time, Okay, and if you don't have them in place, then you need to have your HR department. As you know, in every organization there is a HR department, and one of the key roles of HR department is recruitment, kind of getting people recruited. And if you don't get the skills in market, but there are some skills which are available in-house, you can probably, but they are not matching 100%, then you can probably retrain them and deploy on the project. So human resource management is one of the facilitating areas. Second area is communication management. Okay, so in order to keep key stakeholders happy, okay, and satisfied, the communication needs to be done very well. Communication to the customer, communication within the project teams, communication to all partners about the project progress, about the issues that are found, about the risks that are getting identified, and mitigation plan that is getting laid down. So communication about the progress needs to be done at appropriate time. Okay, getting the escalation path set and getting the escalation done at appropriate time. And let me give examples. What's an escalation? So let's discuss that. Okay, so typically I have seen in my experience, okay, many inexperienced project managers, okay, try to resolve problem or try to resolve issues between themselves and their teams, whereas experienced project manager is that manager who can timely call help, who can timely open up his or her network across the organization, outside the organization, within social networking, within LinkedIn, within different discussion forums that are available on Google. Okay, get help at right time. Okay, escalating internally, escalating externally, escalating within the customer hierarchy, escalating within our organization hierarchy, escalating within partner organization hierarchy. Making noise at times help, and as a project manager one should know when to make that noise. If you keep mum during pressing times, you are likely to get beaten up by everybody. Okay, and a good project manager knows when to make that noise and how loud to make that noise, so that relevant people, relevant stakeholders would hear that noise and come for help. Okay, risk management, we will have a separate video on risk management, but I have explained about risk in my previous video as well. And let me tell you what risks are. Risk is an event if it occurs is going to put your project into jeopardy, and you have to start identifying the risk early in the life cycle, so that you can place the mitigation plan in place. And mitigation plan is nothing but you place some plan when a risk occurs. You can immediately execute that plan such that no harm is done because of that risk. Your project is not delayed. Okay, procurement management, very important, often neglected by project team, but project needs some material to be procured, and if at all there is a need for some material to be procured, then procurement management needs to be done timely. Procurement needs to be kicked off timely. The reason I'll tell you, every item which gets bought, which comes within the organization, has its own lead time. And if you start procuring at the 11th hour, So project is going to get kicked off from tomorrow. From tomorrow my development team is going to sit and start development, and you start procuring some hardware or some license, and there is hell lot of hierarchy within the organization who is going to approve it, and a purchase order gets placed, or quotations are asked, vendors are identified. It is going to take time, so you have to do this timely. Okay, hence it plays a very important role. Okay, and stakeholder management, yes, once you identify the stakeholders, you need to know how to manage them. And I'll tell you a classic example. In customer organization also, you will find that customer has got a hierarchy. So you have a business owner, you might have departmental heads, and you might have actual users within those department using the softwares. Okay, now each of these stakeholders have different interests. A user will have interest to see how convenient a software is. Okay, how easily he and she could operate the software. Okay, a department head would like to see the workflows in place, and he or she gets notified on the mobiles whenever the approvals are sought for, and he can do the approvals sitting on the mobile remotely. Okay, whereas the business owner would like to see that he is getting value for money, right? Whatever he is spending, he knows that he is getting the returns on the investment that he is making. Okay, so stakeholder management is key, and to manage it successfully, one has to know what all are the stakeholders. Okay, and in between, which is the 10th knowledge area, is project integration management, because finally all of these knowledge areas need to be integrated well. Okay, and that's where the integration management plays very important role. Okay, so we have these 10 knowledge areas. Typically they are meant to manage or fulfill the stakeholder needs and expectations. And here we have most important thing, and that's to manage these 10 knowledge areas. We will use different tools and techniques. Okay, so this is overall project management framework, be it a software project or any other project from any other vertical. Basically the framework is going to be same. Okay, there is not going to be any different things other than this, and hence this is a structure, I would say a skeleton which needs to be followed. Okay, which is very important. Okay, and if we do that well, we have a project success that's assured. Okay, so this is basically a brief of project management framework. If you like this video, please like it, share it, and do subscribe my channel. And in the next video we are going to talk about project planning and scheduling. Bye till now.